Hello, my friends. Today we're learning Baba Basra Daf Mem Test. We're going to start 4 lines down. Gufa. We learned just before. Omer of Nachman Amono Yudvarenim. If two Edim were signed on a star of a loan, they come and say that they never saw the transaction of the money. It was just a trust that the loiva trusted the malva to write a star because in the future he wants to take a loan, but they never saw any money transaction. We don't believe the Edom and we say this is a good star of Alva and we could be forced a loiva to pay. If it was a sale and it says Shimon sold Reuven a piece of land and the Edom say, yeah, but before Shimon sold us, he told us that this sale he's forced into and he doesn't really want to sell the land. We don't listen to them, we go after the star. Umar Baravashi Omar, he says, he argues, if they say our words, that the case of a loan that they say was just a trust, but there was no loan yet, they're not believed. But if they say the second case of a mecher, they say the seller told us that he's forced into it, they are believed. My timer should then Nisan Likosev as then Loy Nisan Likosev. A star mono, that means Reuven writing a star that he owes Shimon money even though there's no loan. It's something also to write because he could come to the Achshol, or Shimon could come and force him to pay. So you're not allowed to write such a star. So if once they're made that this star is they signed, so we have a good star over here. Now they're trying to come and say afterwards, no, but it was only a mona. That's a person would not believe to say that he's a Rasha, and therefore we don't believe them, and therefore we take on that it's a good star. But in the case of Moidah, where you're allowed to do such a thing, that means the second star, the guy was nearly forced, nearly killed. So they wrote quickly, they signed that he's selling his land, even though that it's not good sales. So it's not a bad thing that they did, that they signed on the star. Therefore they could be made, yeah, this is our signature and therefore it's a good star, but he could say afterwards, listen, but we know what happened before that he was forced into it and therefore it's not a good star. So that's the difference between Moidah and Amono Lefishitas Ravashi, Marbar Ravashi. We learned in the mission of a man who holds the nichse miluk of his wife and eats a Paris and then he says, I bought this off my wife. He doesn't have a chazaka. Says the Gemara, Pshita, obviously he doesn't have a chazaka. For sure the woman lets him eat the Paris. Chazaka is when a random person in his field, but here it's in your wife's field. And even more so, says the Gemara, Kevin de Isle Pero de Kachil, he's the din of nichse milug is that he eats fruit from the nichse milug. Obviously he's eating the fruit. Why is that chazaka? So the Gemara it's talking about the kosav law that he wrote to the woman, din v'dvarim I'm not having anything to do with these nichse milug. They're not mine. I'm leaving them for you. So in such a case, he doesn't eat nichse milug, the fruit of the nichse milug. So if he's there for 3 years, you'd think it's a chazaka. That's not chazaka because the woman lets her husband eat, even if he said din v'dvarim eni b'nechosaich. So the Gemara, so what that he wrote this din v'dvarim eni b'nechosaich? It doesn't help anything. We learned in the Brayso, Reuven tells Shimon, whose partner, who they own together, a field, din v'dvarim eni asodazu. I have nothing to do with this field. Different lotion of I have nothing to do with this field. When I'm taking my hands out of this field, it doesn't mean that it all belongs to the shutuf. Kedei that it should belong to the shutuf, he has to say loshan matona or loshan hefka, mafke my part, I'm giving you a present my part. It's not enough to say when something already belongs to you, it's not enough to say I'm mistalik. You need to say loshan giving it over. So we hear since the nichse milug belongs to the husband, how does it help to say din v'dvarim eni b'nechosaich? So the Gemara, Amrilo de Beraviana, Masnisin, our Mishnah is talking about Bekoisiv lo v'oida rusa. It's talking about when he writes to her that he doesn't want to have anything to do with the nichse milug when he's just engaged to her, not married, and in that period the field's not yet his. So this lotion of mesulekes doesn't work. Only something that's already yours, you can't be mistalik, you need to give it over. But something that's not yours yet, and you just want to be mistalik yourself from getting it in the future, that lotion does work. And therefore our Mishnah is talking about when he did it by darusa, and therefore he doesn't have no right in the nichse milug, so the chori should have a chazaka, and if he does eat it, there's no chazaka because the woman is no moicha because it's a husband. So the Gemara could Rav Kana, and he goes like Rav Kana, the Omer of Kana, if someone has a Yerusha that comes from a different place, like we're going to explain in a second what it means in mokim acher. So if someone has a nachlo that's meant to come to him midirabonon, let's say, and it's not his yet, he could say, he'd be mistalik, he could say din bedvarim enli bekar kazu, and then when the person dies, he's not yorishit because he's mistalik himself before he gets it. Ukedirova, and also fits in like Rova, that when does the work that when Rova explains when does this din and nachalo, when could you cancel yourself from it? That's only in a case where it's in something derabonon. The Omar Rova, kola oima, anyone who says efsha betakonas, efshi, I do not want betakonas chomim kegoin zois. I don't want a takonas chomim like this one that they were talking over there in the Bismedra. Soon we're going to see which one he was talking about. We listen to him because the whole takana was for you. So if you say, I don't want this takonas chomim, you could cancel it. You don't have to. It was for your benefit. You could say, I don't want it. So also here, the nachlo that a person could pull himself out from is a nachlo that comes from him derabonon. But if it's deraisa, he can't pull himself out. So therefore, the nichtim miluk that a man gets, since it's a din derabonon and he's saying it before he's actually got married, she's only arusa to him. It works, and he's misalik his hands from it. Says more, Mikey going zois. What was Rava talking about? Rava said that anyone who says, I don't want a konos chomin like this one, why this one? What were they talking this matters at the time? So the Gemara could Ravuna Amarav, the Omar Ravuna Amarav, Yichoy leisha shetomer lebalo, eini nizonis ve'eini oiso. Rabbanon were metaking for a woman that the husband should feed her and make sure she has what to eat. And connected that, Rabbanon said, okay, because the husband has to feed you, if you make a nice wage or any type of wage, the husband is going to be mad. Well, also have to feed her, and also she makes her own wages. It makes no sense. So Rabbanon said, you know what? The woman's wages should go to the husband. So if a woman says to her husband, listen, don't feed me, and I'm not going to give you my wages. So since the whole takana went for the woman, so the woman could do so and she could cancel, and she says her wages are for herself, and the husband's not mechuyev mezonos. So also by us, any takana that Chachami made for a person, he could say, I don't want this takana. Said the Gemara, Aryeh yesh. We said in the Mishnah that a husband who's machzik b'nichse milug of his wife, he can't have a chazaka. Aryeh yesh. If he has a raya edim that he bought off the woman, we say it belongs to the husband. Why that? Tema, the woman could say, Nachas ruach osisi lebaili, I did nachas ruach for my husband. You know why I sold it to him? Because I didn't want to fight with him. He said, I'm buying off you the land. I said, okay, I didn't want to get into a fight. Miloit nan have we learned in the Mishnah similar case, lokach mina ish, someone who bought the nichse miluk from the husband, and then he paid the woman also because. So 1 second, not nichse miluk. So he bought from the husband a karka that belongs to the husband, and this karka is meshubah to the ksuva of the woman. If he dies or he divorces her, he has to pay her ksuva from this karka, from all his karkois. So the man, this Reuven went to a man who's married, they bought off him the land, and then he went to his wife and said, listen, you have a right if your husband's going to divorce you or your husband's going to die to take this karka off me. Let me pay you now and you're not going to come to me. Says the Mishnah, it doesn't work. Meaning, for sure, it's the field's his until the husband dies or gets divorced. But if that happens, a woman could go and take this field for her ksuva. Alma, what do we see from there? Amra, she could say, Nachas sisi lebaili. You know why I was willing to be moichel my right for the ksuva from this land? Because I didn't want to fight with my husband. It's not because I really agreed to it. And therefore, I'm taking my ksuva from this piece of land. Ochinami, also by us, Tema, when a man buys a nichse miluk from a woman, Tema, she should say, Nachas ruach osisi lebaili. I didn't really mean to sell it to him, I just didn't want to fight for him. Says the Gemara, to itma lo Omar Rabba Baravuna lo nitzracha elo ba'oisen gimel sodois. So the Torah of the Gemara, that Mishnah over there that it says that a woman could say nachas ruach osisi lebaili, that's only specifically in specific cases. But our Mishnah that it says that nichse milug, a man could buy from his wife and the wife can't say nachas ruach osisi lebaili, is not one of those cases. And the specific cases, the woman could say nachas ruach osisi lebaili, and we're going to see in the next year what's those cases, when yes and when not. Possibly the sugi goes a bit longer into the next Omod, so we'll go back a bit next time and continue. Thank you very much. We shall all be blessed and happy and successful.